Or she was supposed to call me, she didn't because she was so mad at me. I was letting you go because you had a 3 o'clock you said, so I didn't want to bother you. That's okay. Okay, well. I told her about it too, just like, you don't want to do that. Upstairs. Oh no, I've got some thoughts going through my head, but I got a live microphone right now, so I cannot express them. I had not eaten all day and went to Guadalajara after work.
Oh, I didn't eat lunch. Oh, I'm really behind.
Really?
Yeah, I gotta get home by.
Let's do this. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance being led by Ellie Dillon.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Ellie. And welcome to the first regular meeting of the Village Board of Trustees in the Village Ballston Spa, June 8th, 2026. First, I should say, of the month of June, 2026. And first things first, presentations minutes got reversed here. Just noticed that, but it doesn't matter. We have no presentations. I gotta get a motion that the minutes of the May 26, 2026 meeting be approved. Trustee Fondainza.
I'll second.
Trustee Price-Bush, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I would be remiss if I did not say that our good friend, Trustee Charlene Dubuque, is absent tonight, but she is recovering, and I know she wanted to thank everybody. I saw Chris, her husband, out there thanking everybody last week, a fundraiser that was held for her and her family as she does go through her recovery, and she looked good. I mean, for somebody that went through what she's gone through last week, it was great to see her out and about, but obviously still some recovery to come. So Charlene, keep going. I know you're probably watching out there somewhere, but we love you and we miss you, and we'll see you soon. So make sure you relax out there a little bit. We've got public comment for agenda items only. I need to add 5, count them 5 walk-ons, and I will try to explain what happened here with the 5 walk-ons as we go through. Sorry about that, folks. First, there's a motion to approve A Champagne Builders LLC's quote of $8,000 to perform rebuilding work of the Tedisco Trail stairs, and authorizing the mayor to execute any necessary paperwork. A certificate of insurance will be required before work is performed. Also, there's a motion to approve DPW purchases from Curtis Lumber of materials for the renovation of the Tedisco Trail stairs, not to exceed $9,900. We have been working on getting these stairs, it's some way, shape, or form, taken care of for a while, and we had different groups step up wanting to help, but it's a monstrosity of a project. We noticed some of the wood. I'm not even comfortable with the landings right now lasting much longer because of how weak some of that wood is. And so we finally said internally, DPW and me back and forth, to sort of bite this off and let's do this somehow. And we got some great preferential pricing from A Champagne Builders, and Curtis Lumber's worked with us as well to get prices down for actual materials. So I want to thank them for combining on that situation, and that's what that's about. We kind of squared all that away today. There's also a motion to approve the water meter proposal between LaBerge Engineering and the Village of Ballston Spa, contingent with the awarding of the GIGP grant, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement on the contingent basis. This is basically to make sure that we have good points when we submit, our GIGP grant by having this, it is contingent. We don't do anything unless we get the award. Then the state knows that we are ready, willing, and able to go once we get awarded, if we get awarded. And we've been getting some support from local politicians like Scott Ostrander's ready to sign off, I believe. Mary Beth Walsh sent one in today. Jim Tedisco, his office acknowledged it. Phil Barrett from the county as well, and working to try to get John Antoski as well. So we've got a great arsenal of supporters there, and we're just working to get that out the door at the end of this week. We also have a motion to approve the spending by DPW not to exceed $2,000 for tree removal services by Earth Care, and a motion to approve BDB Paving's quote of $14,900 for cleaning and painting of the Kelly Park pickleball courts, and authorizing the mayor to execute any related paperwork. A certificate of insurance will be required before work is performed. Last year we got pricing of about $20,000 for that same work, so BDB is giving us a good price to do work that a lot of people have asked for, because when the sun beats down on that asphalt, it's almost impossible to play pickleball over there, but people have been enjoying those courts. I see people there every time I pass by at Kelly Park, so that's on there as well. It's not really a cushion, no, because of the basketball.
I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard comments.
I get it, but most people it doesn't affect. Yep. Recreational, I think, is fine over there in that respect. So those are also available for public comment. Apologies that we didn't get them to you sooner, but as you can see, there are a lot of moving pieces right now in the village government going on. If you are on Zoom and you would like to speak, now would be a great time to raise your hand if you would like to speak. If there's anybody inside the room that would like to speak, I do see a hand on there, but I'll let Liz go here first.
Liz Corners, 89 High. On motion P and the stairs, is that the same Pete Champagne is being nominated for the Zoning Board of Appeals, and Champagne Construction or whatever it is? Is that the firm that's doing the stair work?
Pete is the father of Andy, so.
Okay, I just thought, yeah, the stairs definitely need repair. They're in awful shape, and somebody's going to get hurt if they don't get done soon.
That's why we're on it. Absolutely. Thank you. Anybody else in the room? We got two up there. Jen's kind of going back and forth. Yeah! And who we got first?
Brandon.
Okay. Brandon, go ahead.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Awesome, thank you for the time. So me and my partners own 9 and 11 Beach Street, which is two 6-unit buildings. We also own the lot next door. And we submitted a package to the board, CC'd the mayor, on requesting to rezone the parcel next door from R1H to R2H. And we got some feedback, and I just wanted to address some of those concerns in the feedback. The three things were generally a lack of desire to expand nonconformance in that area, that the board essentially viewed it as spot zoning, and that it's within the historic district, so makes it a little bit more sensitive, and that they had some negative feedback from one of the owners. So as far as the spot zoning thing, we had initially requested that just our parcel be changed, but I actually took a look at the existing zoning map now, and also the screenshot of our immediate neighborhood there with the various uses, most of them being pre-existing non-conforming. I wish I could show you, but I could send you after the meeting. Instead of just spot zoning our lot, I would just recommend that they carry the zoning from what street is that? It's Milton Ave all the way to Beach Street, and just have that all be R2-H, as most of those uses in there are pre-existing non-conforming, not to fit within R1H. So that's that. Also, that lot that we're looking to get rezoned R2H, it's actually a pre-existing non-conforming right now as 6 single car garage, kind of towards the end of the property. To address the neighbor concern, we actually got a petition signed and we submitted it, got a bunch of signatures of neighbors from single family homes that were in support of converting that to R2H, and even some of our development plans there for multifamily. We also spoke with a handful of people on the phone that supported it as well. Mayor Rossi had, mentioned, hey, the board's going to be more interested in the single-family home owners and what they think, as opposed to the pre-existing non-conforming multifamily. So that's why we specifically targeted them. And then the historic overlay district sensitivity. So we understand that's very important. We're committed to designing this project in a manner that complements the architectural character of the area, building design, materials, landscaping. Uh, that can all be tailored to fit the historical context of the neighborhood. But it shouldn't guide how we make the zoning decisions. And we're willing to collaborate and work with the historical board as much as we need to. Um, Overall,
Brandon,
we're looking to convert space from just,
Brandon, your time is up, Brandon. But also, if you could give your address, because normally we start with that.
yeah, it's the parcel next to 911 Beach Street, Ballston Spa, New York, 12020.
But what's your actual home address is what we usually aim for.
Okay, it's 130 Columbia Turnpike,
Okay.
Rensselaer, New York.
Okay. Thank you. We'll probably discuss this further later in the meeting during zoning code discussion. So stay tuned for that. Excuse me. And we have another hand up, I believe. Okay. And Mike, go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening. Mike Iacolucci, 3 Encore Drive. Some questions just on several agenda items. First, under the consent agenda 6A2, the fire department and the medical exams. I want to say very clearly, I'm all in favor of having these volunteers receive a medical exam and a fitness test as appropriate. It appears that 41 volunteers will get the physical exam. Is that every volunteer? And if not, just generally, what sort of criteria are looked at to determine who gets a physical versus who might not? Similarly, it looks like 35 individuals will have a fitness test. And again, I don't need to know what the details are, but I'm just curious how the process of determining who gets a fitness test is done. On motion 7M, the purchase of a work truck, just a question about the payment and whether financing or paying cash has been considered. It appears that if it's financed, it will be at an interest rate of approximately 7% over 5 years. And in comparison to current earnings rates on cash balances, it seems to me that cash would earn less than that. So just curious whether you looked at that and how you evaluated that. And then lastly, motion 7N and 7O refer to letters from Teal Becker. And I just couldn't quite locate those letters. So if they are available on the website, if someone could point out where I could find them, that would be helpful to me. Thank you.
Thank you. And no further hands on Zoom. Anybody in the house? Seeing none, let us roll. Just to quickly answer Mike's question on consent to, we would have to get the fire department in here to answer that specifically. So for now, I would still recommend obviously compensating them. I think it is, but also somebody opt to get their own insured care to handle it too. So we can look into that for sure. Excuse me. Does anybody want to take any of the 3 consent agenda items off to separately handle? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve those consent agenda items? Trustee Fondainsa.
A second.
Mary actually started that first, so we're going with Mary this time. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion that Aaron Michaela Kearns be hired part-time as Village Park Water at $21.22 per hour for the 2026 season effective immediately?
So moved.
Trustee Dunkelbarger, Trustee Fondainsa on the second. Discussion. Yeah, I'm thrilled too, just going to say the same. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion that Colin Colbert be hired as full-time laborer for DPW department?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Price Bush.
I'll second.
Trustee Dunkelbarger, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion that Joshua Snyder, Connor Gardner, James Duffy, William Gabor, Eric Terry, and Cooper Beecher of Slick Network Solutions be allowed soliciting permits from June 9, 2026 to April 1st, 2027 from the hours of 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday within the village. A certificate of insurance is on file.
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Price Bush.
I'll second.
Trustee Dunkelbarger, discussion.
Yeah, have we not approved these guys to
Not that group. They'd approved somebody
separate
else.
to the consultants?
Yep. Yeah, they've been, they actually, we had wanted approved without approval a couple weeks ago. We were like, nope, and then they had a couple
Okay.
more anyway, so it was
right.
probably good that we didn't rush anything. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. More for names here. Here we go. Can I get a motion that William Chapman, Garrett Chapman, Jordan Ricciardelli, Elsie Ness, Owen Fleury, Sam Amadeo, and Matt Cook be hired as seasonal lifeguards to the village pool effective immediately. Trustee Fondainza.
I'll second.
Trustee Price Bush, discussion. I feel like I watch all these kids on the different athletic fields and extracurriculars, so it's kind of like family hour over the pool going on here. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion that Jasmine Akari and Charles Burmaster be hired as seasonal assistant directors or lifeguards for the village pool effective immediately?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Price Bush, Trustee Fondainza, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion that Kaylee Slifer, Levi Jenkins, Madeline Del Garcia, Parker Caswell, Evan Ferrer, Colin Reed, Sarah Phelps, Aiden Davis, Sarah Bazzo, Ava Galvin, Spencer Mancini, and Declan Phillips be rehired as seasonal lifeguards for the village pool effective immediately?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Price Bush, Trustee Fondainza on the second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No problem. Motion does carry. Can I get a motion that Kate Garis be hired as the director of the village pool for the 2026 season? Trustee Fondainza.
I'll second.
Trustee Price Bush, discussion. Yes, she does. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion that the Ballston Spa Lions Club be approved for a permit to park cars along Fairground Avenue along the Fairgrounds fence line during the Saratoga County Fair on July 21st, 2026 through July 26th, 2026 from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Certificate of insurance is on file. Trustee Fondainza.
Second.
Trustee Dunkelbarger, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve Swimming Under the Stars at the Village Pool to be held on August 8th from 8 p.m. until midnight? This event is free and open to all Ballston Spa Central School District and Town of Milton residents. Trustee Fondainza.
I'll second.
Trustee Price Bush, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve Officer Ackley's health insurance reimbursement of $2,043 to be paid out for 2025? Proof of coverage was provided. Trustee Fondainza.
I'll second.
Trustee Dunkelbarger, discussion. Ed opts out, and so in their contract is $200 a month amount, and so he's getting his year's worth from 2025. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion approving Reuben Cafe to hold its annual Ballston Spa Sunshine Kids Lemonade Stand fundraiser battling childhood cancer on August 1st from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., requiring Prospect Street from parking lot to Bath Street in the alleyway to be closed during the event pending receipt of certificate of insurance. Trustee Fondainza.
I'll second.
Trustee Price Bush, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve the senior send-off event and procession starting at the high school and continuing down Ballston Avenue to Route 67 on West High Street to Route 50 to Ocean State Job Lot on June 15th starting at 6 p.m.?
Make the motion.
Trustee Dunkelbarger.
I'll second.
Trustee Price Bush, discussion. I'm going to look into maybe stopping traffic in both directions during that this year. I got to talk to the chief because we had a near episode last year with some stuff going on where people are trying to go around into the other lanes with oncoming traffic, and so it might be worth evaluating that one a little bit. But it's still a great event and brief at that, so it's not like it's causing a major headache for everybody.
DOT be done with their paving then?
We've got to let them know ahead of time on that one to not start at 6 that night if possible. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion approving DPW's purchase of a used 2026 Silverado 3500 work truck from Mangino Chevrolet totaling $59,295.93, allowing mayor to execute the agreement and the financing agreement?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Price Bush.
I'll second it.
Trustee Dunkelbarger, discussion. To answer Mike's question, we only put down $20,000 to the truck for this year, assuming we'd be financing it. So for now, the best approach is to make sure we stay at budget, and then if later on we reconcile that, we'll have money to pay it down in its entirety, and it's the worst interest rate we've got, which I don't believe it will be. Actually, we've got another one that probably we could pay down in that situation. We can reverse engineer how we approach that. So for now, we've got 20 grand to put toward it, and we can do it in 5 payment situation based off putting $20,000 down on it that way. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion approving the REACT letter from Teal Becker Chiaramonte, CPAs PC, related to the fiscal year 2024 HUD audit, and authorizing the mayor to execute it? Trustee Fondainza.
I'll second.
Trustee Price Bush, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion approving the financial letter from Teal Becker and Chiaramonte, CPAs PC, related to the 2024 HUD audit, and authorizing the mayor to execute it? Trustee Fondainza.
I'll second.
Trustee Dunkelbarger, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Well, we're still live in terms of the voice, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And trying to think, it's that camera situation, so it's the HDMI probably from that. In the meantime, audio is still on, so we'll just finish out here. Can I get a motion approving Peter Champagne as full member of the Zoning Board of Appeals for the remainder of the unexpired term of Anna Stanko, who resigned in April 2026?
Make that motion.
Trustee Dunkelbarger, Trustee Fondainza, discussion. Peter was actually a member of the Zoning Board before, and is looking forward to coming back on. Already hit me up to say, hey, I want to talk to people about where things stand and everything else. So he's looking to jump right on in, and we appreciate his willingness to do so. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve A Champagne Builders LLC's quote of $8,000 to perform rebuilding work of the Tedisco Trail stairs, and authorizing the mayor to execute any necessary paperwork? A certificate of insurance will be required before work is performed.
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Price Bush, Trustee Fondainza, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve DPW purchases from Curtis Lumber of materials for the renovation of the Tedisco Trail stairs not to exceed $9,900? Trustee Fondainza.
Second.
Trustee Dunkelbarger, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve the water meter proposal between LaBerge Engineering and the Village of Ballston Spa, contingent with the awarding of the Gig Peak grant, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement on the contingent basis? The Trustee Fondainza.
I'll second.
Trustee Dunkelbarger, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve the spending by DPW not to exceed $2,000 for tree removal services by Earth Care?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Price Bush.
Second that.
Trustee Dunkelbarger, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve BDB Paving's quote of $14,900 for cleaning and painting of the Kelly Park pickleball courts, and authorizing the mayor to execute any related paperwork? A certificate of insurance will be required before work is performed. Trustee Fondainza.
I'll second.
Trustee Price Bush, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So that was Q, R, S, T, and U. I believe that's a record for letter motions. So thank you for that. I'm going to reverse course here to try to help them with the camera situation. So let's go to treasurer, right, to liaison reports, and then I'll catch back up with you here. We'll start with Bernadette.
Don't have a lot to report. The DSPA is going to be having the kickoff to the farmers market this Saturday, which I'm excited about. I encourage everybody to go. It'll be 9 to 1 on Saturday. And just some follow up, the board has been looking at, this is related kind of to the, well, it's not all of that, I might as well just talk about it here. Everybody, for the most part, looked at the letter from Labella, from Norval. So we'll have it, we'll put some motion together for next meeting. Liz, I did ask about your question regarding why not, the larger program. Norval just doesn't think we're that good of a match for that typically when a village has received that kind of award, they're specifically like a tourist town, or they want to kind of bolster tourism in that particular area. I know we're next to Saratoga, but I think the number of projects, I don't think we get to that number that they're looking for. So that, at least that's what the explanation was from Norva, but I did ask. I'll put it together in motion the next meeting.
Do we want Norabelle to come in to do a?
Oh, yeah. You
So,
want me to schedule?
if you could, that'd be awesome, and just
Sorry,
remind
thank
me.
you for the reminder.
Yep, no problem. Just remind me too when we're getting to agenda time. We have a 3-week gap between the next meeting and the following meeting, so this would probably be the advantageous time to get it done. That it for yours?
Yeah.
Trustee Price Bush at this point?
Okay. The task force wants to remind everyone Family Fun Day will be held August 16th, and fireworks will be featured again this year. Any interested volunteers and vendors should call Gina Morosi at 518-421-0160. And the library has several events going on over the next few weeks. There's the Senior Planet website, the Digital Zoom Skills Series, tongue twister. Is This a Scam? That will be held Thursday, June 15th at 4:30 until 5 o'clock. You can check the village website for the Zoom link. On Saturday, June 20th, they will have a Father's Day craft workshop from 10 a.m. until 2:30. You can make a special gift for your dad or someone special in your life, and this is a free event open to all school-aged children. Farm to library, fresh produce is delivered every Wednesday, so they encourage people to go and get some fresh food. And the community survey is located on the homepage of the library's website, and I think they estimate it might take 5 to 10 minutes for you to complete, so they encourage everyone to look at that, fill it out, and that is it.
One thing, while I was just scrolling to try to find the treasurer's report, to answer Mike Colucci, I was pretty certain they were there, and they are. At the very end of the attachments were the 2 letters that he was citing to, and the board would have, believe it or not, the board looks at everything, and I get called out if I mess up something on the agenda. So I was pretty sure that you guys didn't let me down there. You did not. They are both there at the end of the attachments for the June 8th meeting in the minutes section. So there's that. Paul?
DPW's been getting the pool ready for the season. They've mowed all the spots. They borrow a mower from the town of Milton. They mow lots on Ralph Street, Malt Avenue, Maple Ave, Bath Street, and Fairground Avenue, as well as East High Street, that mower. They have completed the flushing of the water system, painted the crosswalks on Front Street. They have done the last round of brush pickup, or loose brush pickup, and they still do have 3 guys taking CDL training. That's it.
And let's reverse course. I'll go back up on Treasurer's report. Remember that we are in tax payment season, so please pay your property taxes by the end of the month. We suggest you either put them in the box outside if it's check, or come in and go person to person. Putting it in the mail does risk losing it, unfortunately, because it seems like anything we have sent to us goes to Connecticut, then back to here, instead of directly to us. So there's a risk there. Water meter cards, we've noticed this. We got one from last December, finally, a couple weeks ago, I guess. It might have been. Bad. No, but in all seriousness, meter cards, which are due at the end of this month, please also, again, in the box outside, in the box on Jennifer's desk, if you want a stamp, hand her the backside of your card, and she will give you that back with a stamp on it to show that it's been received. Bob Kavanaugh asked me to remind everybody, I'm not going to give phone numbers out right here, but if you want to take a picture of your water meter because you can't read it for some reason, but you still want to submit it, go ahead, call Village Hall, and they'll tell you the best way to either email it or text it to somebody. So your best bet is to use the cell phone, obviously, on your cell phone camera, I should say, and then have it ready to go if you want to email it or text it to us somehow. So we'll work with everybody that wants to do it that way. Of course, you'll need to give us your property address, and not your home address, but your property address. Those can be 2 very different things. And so you call us at 885-5711, and we will help you figure out how to get that to us at that point. It may be texting it to Bob or maybe emailing it to one of us to get it across. So please make sure you do that. Otherwise, I think that is it for what Melissa would have been telling us. Mayor's announcements, a lot going on right now. I mean, we end up with a little bit of a leak in the pool, we understand, so we're trying to fix that literally right now. And but DPW, they're on that, trying to figure out exactly why we went down a few feet of water during the weekend. So I told them that it looked like Flex Seal works pretty well on those infomercials, so let's see if we can't figure out a way to use it here. But they're going to work on making sure that's rectified. You can see the attempt here to get the pickleball courts in order as well, and make it a mainstay because of their usefulness. The Tedisco Trail Stairs has been something that I've heard endlessly about, and finally, like I said, we're biting the bullet on that one and doing it and getting some great support in the process, because that's easily a $20,000 to $25,000 project in whole. And so we're getting some really positive assistance there from folks that do want to help us still with respect to that. So thanks to Curtis and to Andy Champagne on working together to figure out ways to keep costs down on that. We are still working on the DPW garage situation. Carla is going to be sending a letter soon to Malta to help initiate that situation. We've got the zoning code obviously coming up. I am working right now to sort of give a little relief to Carla, because she's got 9,000 things on her list. But as promised to Sean back when, to re-attack the sidewalk code situation. And I literally have spent probably 6 or 7 hours working on kind of the volleys with that one, and to get it into a shape that I can hand over to Carla to review for legal, and then have you set your sights on it and give the feedback. But I want you to have a good document to work off of, so that if you love all of it, we pass it. If you want changes, at least they're going to be easy changes to make, and we'll be able to handle that. So I took into consideration all the different stuff that we've heard over the last year to 2 years about sidewalks. Got the loan program baked into it, and the methodology. Talked to the county a little bit about some of the concerns about re-levies if we put their loan payments on the tax bill, and how that would work. Still haven't got a full satisfactory answer there, but working on that definitely. So within the next meeting to 2 meetings, I expect to see some sign of that coming as well. I think it's important to go there and get that done. And like I said, we promised Sean, and you know what, we keep our promises. So let's make sure we work that. And I did basically merge the best of the existing code, Sean's code, and some new stuff that came along too along the way. So his was useful from last January 1st, 2025. I think he had sent it to all of us, and better late than never, as we say. So thanks to him. That's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of stuff. We've got our full, you've walked in and saw kind of the office mayhem. We had to move some things around for Slick to get installations going in there. But you can see when you walk in the office that we have full strength right now, and it's really great to see that with our 2 new part-timers, Deb and Mary Beth, and then Melissa, Jen, and Rebecca, sort of guiding them along the way, and now managing what is obviously the toughest time of the year for us, with taxes and water cards at the same time. So appreciate everybody working together, getting them educated. Bob working with them as well, Kavanaugh, to get them educated, so that we have some institutional knowledge on that. If he's not around for some reason, they can manage the situation. So thanks to everybody for working together there for the toughest time of the year in the village office. We are also working to, I think I may have mentioned this, but we're putting a policy together where we're keeping only about $1 million in the operating account, which we do need a fair amount of money to make sure we have payroll covered and things like that. And then all other money we're going to put into our 3.5% currently. Now that will change over time, but the Metropolitan Bank account we have. So during times like this, when all the tax money comes in and some water money comes in the sewer, we'll have probably in excess of $5 million in the bank, probably $6 in that account. And so that should help us with some of the interest situations there. And so what Mike raised earlier, we're watching that and trying to figure out, how the right appropriate time is to pay down something with a higher interest rate in those situations. Speaking of interest rates, we just signed off on a legacy issue of 78 Thompson Street. We took out the mortgage officially, finally, or the loan, for a 15-year period for 78 Thompson Street, $460,000. And that was a 3 point, now why am I blanking on that one? At 3.8, I want to say. I think it was 3.8% interest rate on that. And then we did the ban extension for now the second payment of the water tower. And that was in at an effective rate. It was 4%, but they gave us a premium back on it. So when you do that, you basically refigure the rate, and that's why they're the winner here, of 3.53% for the 1-year ban, which is really good interest rates on the market right now. And we've been working with Fiscal Advisors LLC to get that to work, and they've been doing a great job for us. That's the same group we're going to use for the fire truck loan coming up for the $800,000 down the line or thereabouts for that. So, you know, some good cheap money per se, and that's going to allow us to have a good cushion as we take on more debt to make sure that we can make debt payments and operate at the same time down the line. That's the balance, and, you know, it's good to have that money in that situation. Problem is you can't pay it off until the 8-year mark, but with these interest rates, this is kind of the lowest of the breed we've got right now besides the USDA stuff. So I don't see anybody needing to pay this down in 8 years unless some real debacle in interest rates occurs. So I think we're in a good spot with those two loans. And again, thanks to the Fiscal Advisors for helping out on that one. I think that's about it. Let's go to old business, draft zoning code status, but I do want to address the public comment we had earlier from Brandon and just kind of tell everybody what that is, where we went with it, how, you know, this worked. So we've received over time a number of questions or thoughts about, hey, the map should look like this, or the map shouldn't look like that, and everything else. So in this case, somebody came to me saying, hey, we've got this empty lot essentially, or you know, at least partially empty lot on Pleasant Street at Beach Street is the way I would put it based on the way the map looks on this. And we already have 2 sixplexes on Beach Street, at least facing Beach Street it looks like. So we want to do 2 more sixplexes. I said, okay, well, here's your universe of possibilities I could give to you here unofficially. You know, you could go for a use variance, and you bought a lot that you knew what the zoning was in an R1 context. Self-created hardship is going to be really tough, and also financial hardship in a situation where you probably could build a single-family home. And so, you know, it's your choice to go to the zoning board and try it. We've seen the zoning board grant use variances that we thought might be doubtful at certain points. That's up to you, but, you know, I'm just giving you layman's view here a little bit. It could be an interesting, tough time. So the only other real way out of this is to somehow convince the board that that should have some kind of island type of R2 mapping in the middle of what is a sea of R1A, I believe that is, in the new zoning map. And I said that's going to be a very tough sell, I think, because it's one thing to say you've got a non-conforming use over here. It's another thing to say you've got an expansion of a non-conforming use on what is considered a pretty rural street once you go up the hill on Pleasant Street. Yes, they get a lot of the traffic trying to bypass over there, but it's still considered, it's kind of a McMaster Street type of scenario, I think, where, yeah, you get a lot of cut through, but the heart of the street is residential. It's the residential gateway almost off of Milton Avenue over there. So they put together a package, sent it around to the board, and kind of did an individual straw polling to see their thoughts. And honestly, I pretty much got a 0-5 view of this situation in terms of 0 in favor of changing the mapping to R2. I conveyed, as Brandon said, some of the thoughts you gave me as feedback on it, and, you know, open and honest about this whole thing to him, and he fed it back to us, as you heard tonight, and wanted to give some other thoughts here to pursue it further. And I said, public comment's probably your best time to do that. He did it. Does anybody have any thoughts based on what you heard tonight with respect to that?
That's tough. I do appreciate that he'd be willing to have the character, but the struck nature of things. There's some really beautiful struck homes there, but concern. I know there's non-conforming use in the area, but I don't know that apartments, I feel like sometimes our single-family home areas are a little limited.
Yep.
For me, that's kind of really what this is.
Or you just want to make sure too?
Oh, no, because I always forget. I'm sorry. I'm the worst one about
You're
this,
fine.
so sorry about that.
If you just want to repeat it, because you may not have heard that.
The mayor's making me repeat myself.
Sorry.
Generally, like, I appreciate the property owner did say earlier that they would be, willing to work with the Historic District Commission, and, fit the character as far as the design of the area. Yes, there are some non-conforming uses there, but overall it's a very quiet neighborhood. And generally I have had some concern about the creep of multifamily in our R1 areas. So that's just kind of going to be my hurdle. I'm only speaking for myself on this one.
Oh, I get it. Mary or Paul, if you want to add anything, just feel free to.
I think Bernadette expressed it very well. Just it's a tough spot to anticipate more R2 development.
I'm with you on that. Mary, what's your?
No, I agree. There's a mix of everything, but like Bernadette said, you want to try to get away from multifamily in the single family district.
I think to sort of, and bless you if that was part sneeze, but Brandon's notion that it's a continuation of Milton Ave. And I think when you talk to people on Pleasant Street, that's exactly what they don't want to hear or spread, if that's the notion of it. So when he said that, it really made me pause, because I'm like, boy, I know that folks on Pleasant Street have a certain pride of the way that street operates independent of Milton Ave, or tries to at least.
I lived on that street, and it's not meant to feel like Milton Ave. It is a very quiet street. There's traffic that goes through there, but overall, that is not the character or nature of it. It is residential.
And, like I said, we went to great pains to protect McMaster Street. It has a very similar ring to me as McMaster Street does, in terms of, instead of going to Ballston Ave on the other side, in this case it goes to, Chapman or Eastern Ave, excuse me, yep. Why am I blanking today? But Eastern Ave, which obviously is a much more residential zone over there, so it transitions quickly, if not entirely, once you get onto Pleasant. And that's the way they want to keep it. So I did talk, Noah Shaw, obviously, who's a former board member here. I had reached out to him and I was like, what is the thought? Have you heard about this at all? And I know Noah was pretty shocked that somebody would try to do it in the historic district, but also just the expansion of the nonconformance and what it breeds in that area generally. And I talked to during the Memorial Day parade post festivities. I was talking to folks over at the American Legion over there, and they were a little surprised to hear it too. And obviously they're not going to take a position officially on behalf of that, but some of the individuals, stopped me to say that they were concerned about that type of approach. So we've tried to vet this a little bit on our side, and I appreciate he did so. That's 5 or 6 signatures, I feel like, or maybe 7, something like that, on the petition that he referenced. But I can sense that the board didn't feel any change of approach here in terms of the 05 mentality that I was talking about earlier. So, Brandon, you are welcome to, in the second public comment, respond to that if you'd like to. But I think that's where we are right now.
I kind of half in my head laughed when you said it's got a rural nature. I was like, no, it doesn't. But I forget. There used to be turkeys that would be in my backyard. We've had deer. It's very in the village, and you do kind of get those animals back there.
Yep.
And big fat groundhogs. So I mean, there is a little bit more.
Hopefully, no foxes. That's all I got to say.
Oh, no more foxes.
So draft zoning code status. So as you remember, we had a December 2025 draft. Chris, we had told the board, had provided his changes based on public comment, board comments, and planning board comments, et cetera, zoning board comments, all the comments that were received in that period. And he had some things pointed for Carla to also look at too. I know Carla yesterday, late last night, in fact, finished up with hers, but there's still a couple open small pieces. And I'm also working to track the changes to help the board understand what's changed, why, where it came from, and all that stuff as well. So over the next day or two, you probably are going to see Chris's and Carla's changes to it and the tracking that I've done as well to help indicate a little bit better where we're going here. And what I would ask the board to do, and I'll let you fill in any blanks too, but once you get it, please dedicate yourselves to nothing but that for a few days and see what's left in terms of things that you think were mistakes, things that just didn't translate over correctly for whatever reason, or hey, there's one other thing that probably should be fixed here or added or something like that. This is kind of last call hour with respect to it. I will say, the feedback we've gotten from people that I talked to about the give back of a pre-existing non-conforming use in a situation where abandonment occurred has gotten a lot of favorable reaction because all you got to say is, remember what the beehives challenges were, and there are others throughout this village, and being able to use a special use permit to get that use back to a property that was already set up to be a multifamily in that situation, that's one thing. It's much different than, you know, I guess blank lot or virtually blank lot like we were just talking about. So it's not an expansion of it in that situation. It's just a retention of a use that was viewed as appropriate to that area, and as long as they can prove their parking and their other general site plan requirements, special use permit, people have responded really well to the intention or that notion, and I think especially people that have had to go through a use variance process do appreciate the fact that we're trying to do something to remove a lot of the legal problems, the costs that go with it, and everything else. What have I forgotten?
I can't wait till it's all adopted.
You and me both.
It's a lot, and there's been so many changes to it, and I give Chris a lot of credit for doing a lot of it. But now that we've got all the legal changes in there, and there's just a couple questions for the board, we had to, because we added so much stuff, and I know this might be frustrating to some people, but when you go through the 150 pages, this section references this section, and that section references this section. But if you change this section, you have to make sure you go back and renumber and rechange everything internally. So you're reading it over and over and over again, even with using technology to help with that. Yep. It takes some time.
Absolutely does.
So, it was like 10 last night. It wasn't too late.
Yeah, and I ran a check around midnight, I think, to add to that. So
yeah, I think we're ready to go. I want to talk to Chris. I'm not loud enough?
Just making sure.
Shocking. I want to talk to Chris tomorrow to see there's a couple of things, and then just have him actually clean up the table of contents for you folks. But I would think tomorrow or the next day you'll have what we need. And there is a chart that does identify what's changed, what didn't change, why it's changed. I would use that. It's a great tool. Because otherwise you're going to go cross-eyed because there's like 7 different colors in the red line, red, purple, blue line.
I just accept all changes and go from there when I try to even look at it myself, and then use, as you're saying, that. And we'll, obviously when we get to a point, we're going to make it available for everybody again when we're ready to push it out for county planning review as well, so that everybody has some time to review it one more time. But we're just trying to get it into shape that we're proud of and confident in as well.
Right.
So, any last thoughts from the board? I know you're kind of flying blindly right now with respect to it, so we'll get you what you need to not fly so blindly for the next meeting. But all good? Mm-hmm. Okay. Anybody else have any older new business that might not have made it on for some reason? Seeing none, hearing none. Public comment on any issue for 3 minutes is permitted at this point. And again, if you're on Zoom, you would like to speak, please raise your hand on Zoom. We're attempting to get done before 8:30 because I hear this big basketball game tonight. Marv Albert in the front there. Well, I would need you to go up there then? Yeah, go right ahead. And just name and address if you could.
Tiffany Connery, 9 Red Coach Trail.
Mm-hmm.
Just a question on the champagne. You said that he's part of the zoning board too?
No, he was in the past day years ago, a member of the zoning board, and I approached him and said, hey, have any interest in going back? Because obviously he knows, the zoning law pretty well in the village and everything else. And after some skepticism initially, he jumped at the opportunity to do it for a couple of years, he said.
Okay. Now, didn't you say that that's where you guys got the quote from too?
No, that's Andy Champagne.
Okay.
Yep.
I was just curious because I was like, wouldn't that be a conflict of interest?
No, nope. That's what Liz was asking about earlier.
Okay.
So, yep.
I missed that.
Okay, Marilyn, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
Marilyn Stevenson, 45 West High Street. Just to remind everyone that the Ballston Spa House and Garden Club is having their plant sale on Saturday, June 13th from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m., 89 Hyde Boulevard. It's a cash sale, all locally grown plants, and all the proceeds benefit the public gardens that we maintain in the village and the 2 senior scholarships that we give out for graduating seniors. Just an observation, and I'm trying to really just articulate this as respectfully as I can. I don't, considering where we are in the zoning process of the final draft before it goes through the public, is it really appropriate for any official at the village level to be entertaining proposed changes specifically and personally to the zoning code and airing that so publicly at this late stage in the development of the code when the planning board
could you be more
has not-
specific,
when the
Marilyn?
plan-
We don't understand what you're saying. If you want to be a little more.
Well, that was a very public airing of some
Oh, Brandon's
developers.
thing you're talking about.
Of
Okay.
some developers' interest in having property he has an interest in changed at the very last moment. I'm just asking, is it appropriate for us to, for you as a board to start even seriously entertaining those changes in light of the stage of finality of the draft zoning code? And that is in consideration with the fact that the planning board and the zoning board of appeals have not had a public scheduled meeting for at least the last 2 months. I could be wrong on that. I know we have a part-time building inspector. That could be a person to provide some information, but I think, all of you even considering a private individual developer, not even from the village, trying to promote this change so late in the process is just, as someone who's worked on this for a couple of years, it seems very dicey. So I'll just say that. Thank you.
I will respond if I could briefly, because I think I said it at the front of this discussion. This is constant. We're getting these types of inquiries, and normally it's somebody who's just a general property owner. This was a very unique one because somebody actually came to the village with an actual full-scale proposal on it, and has asked us multiple times for feedback, and this is the feedback, which is we don't see a need to change the map in that situation, and at the end of the day, we sit here and ultimately we'll have to decide on those things, and we're trying to clean up the situations as best we can so that when we vote, we get hopefully a 5-0 vote on where we are. We're not expecting this to be a perfect document. We understand we may have to make some changes later on, but the one thing that is tough to change realistically is the zoning map once it's done, because then you're spot zoning according to people or whatever else might be claimed. So it's time to get it right. And that's what people recognize, and why they kind of panic as you get to at the end of this is, oh, here's my last chance to change the zoning map. And I don't fault Brandon for attempting that, and I appreciate the board took it seriously and gave feedback that I could take back to him so that he understood the challenges of it. From there, it's going to be up to him. I'm going to guess, is he back on? No? So who's that up there? Is that Mike? Okay, we'll go to Mike in a second then. If anybody else in here? Seeing none. Chris?
Oh, wait.
Okay, Mike, why don't you go ahead then? Sorry.
Thank you. Mike Iacolucci, 3 Encore Drive. Just to circle back for a moment to motions 7N and O and Teal Becker. I did read through the 33 pages of attachments for this evening's meeting. Perhaps I'm confused, or perhaps there's some confusion within the village office. What I see at the end of those attachments is 2 letters from the village to Teal Becker. So again, if someone could check that, if I'm just misreading it, I'll be a little bit surprised, but that's a possibility. And if those letters from Teal Becker to the village are not yet there, if you could put them there, that would be great. Thank you.
Mike, I get your confusion now. You're right. The way they set those up, those letters go to GEM ultimately to handle from there. So they've written these letters for us with the conclusions, and we're signing off so that they're transmitted to GEM, which is our HUD affiliate essentially here, and that's how it's handled. So I get your confusion. I apologize.
Okay, so if I may ask then, there are a number of items within those pages that refer to actions being taken. Is an explanation of those actions available somewhere?
I don't know specifically which ones you're talking about, but we can always ask Teal Becker to provide. So essentially, when it comes to,
well, for example,
let me finish if I may. Let me finish if I may. When it comes to Teal Becker's situation in the HUD, we're kind of a pass-through for HUD when it comes down to it. We do what we need to do to fulfill audit, but we use Teal Becker and GEM essentially as the entities that we run the audit through and run the process through on the other side. So when it comes to that stuff, it's a lot more limited what we do with respect to HUD. So any actions being discussed are mainly actions being taken by either the auditor or GEM, or that we're directed to take in this situation. But if you got a specific list or a specific 1 or 2 or 3 that you want us to get you more feedback on, feel free to email me and I'll send it over to Teal Becker to get more information on that. We don't go knee deep in the HUD situation here because, like I said, we're more or less a pass-through to ensure that that program is available for Ballston Spa, but it's something that none of us are experts on, Mike. I'll be honest with you.
Well, okay, and just as an example, and I will follow up with you then, Mayor.
Sure.
On page 6, there's a reference to the fact that we have developed a correction action plan that meets the requirements of the uniform guidance. So again, I'm just curious what needed to be done to develop a correction action plan, and I don't see any of that.
Okay, like you said, send me an email. I'll pass it over to Nate over at Teal Becker and just get some clarity for you as well. But no problem doing that.
Thank you.
No problem. Chris.
Chris Buke, 6 Kaleen Drive. Just a little different note. I'm here to sort of give you a sort of an update how Trustee Dubuque is doing. She is recovering. She would have liked to have been here tonight or even have been on Zoom, but she's still a little bit tired, still in the recovery process. But she's extremely thankful, as am I and our entire family. One, just living in this village, seeing that, you know, the Village of Friends really does take on a whole new meaning when unfortunately you're beset by a little tragedy in your own family. Kaleen seems to be having a bad reputation lately between a house fire and now a brain tumor. This seems to be a bad luck place to live. But each time, this community has really turned out in spades. We're usually used to going and helping out. We're not used to being on the receiving end of it. So it left us a little bit speechless, to be honest. Between prayers, people reaching out, support, the fundraiser that was done at Equal Mat Lee, people bringing over food, people coming to visit and just providing some support, psychological support, giving rides to my children when they needed it. It's just been phenomenal again, and I don't know where it's coming from. It seems to just be more and more people turning out. So I'm usually a person with many words, but I am often lost for words in this situation. So again, I did want to express that thank you, that gratitude. It's just truly been amazing from all the volunteers, even people who just purchase meals. It goes a long way, believe me. Every cent counts. Every meal that's been dropped off. I am by no means a cook at all. And for a while, I was in the hospital with my wife almost 24/7 for what went on for seems like 2 weeks, when it was a week and a half, but that seems like a very long time when you're in the hospital. And again, still a long road ahead, but she's making leaps and bounds, just trying to pay attention to some of the village emails. Got back to teaching a little bit, but she could only do so much. And again, she was constantly worried about the village when she should have been worried about her own health at times. I think somebody said they needed to just give her something to knock her out. That probably would have helped quite a bit, especially with the recovery process, but she just can't help herself. She can't stop doing what she's doing. So again, to see the community just really turn out and support her in all ways, shapes, and forms, even if it's a card or a prayer or whatever it was. I've done my thank yous on Facebook, I've done my thank yous in text, but I'm more of a face-to-face. I'd rather come in front of people and say thank you. Truly, truly, it means so much to our family. And again, it makes us proud to live in this village. And again, it does give a whole new meaning to Village of Friends when you are on the receiving end of just tragic news and just the number of people who have turned out and the support they've given. Truly, truly amazing. So thank you to everybody on this board and everybody in this community. I know we're supposed to just address the board, but there's been some phenomenal people in the community, your constituents, that have really turned out. And again, that just made this a truly, truly great place that we are very happy we decided to settle roots here and to raise our family here and to continue to stay here. So phenomenal place. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris. Send her our best, as we said earlier, please. Anybody else? Seeing none, hearing none, we're going to have one more action item because of something that got emailed to me, and I'll explain to it. We will allow a 90-second public comment session if need be on this. I'll explain in a second. Let me start then with other business, and we'll head here. Bulldog Fire Apparatus would like us to be able to save the pre-build that's out there that we are waiting for the referendum period to expire on, to sign off, that we have an interest in it. And it would be contingent on, or at least the intention here is to make it contingent on the fact that the 50-day permissive referendum and the estoppel period pass with no issues. I'm not 100% satisfied with what's in front of me, that the contingency is built into everything. So here's what I would like to propose to give Carla a chance and me a chance to sort of give the feedback to Bulldog, get the right paperwork in front of us. The proposal has the following on it, just two items. Fouts Brothers FB94 custom pumper, $715,996.00. And then equipment mounting allowance of $70,000, totaling $785,996.00. I would ask for a motion to approve the execution of a document to show interest in purchase of the fire apparatus just mentioned from Bulldog Fire Apparatus, and authorizing the mayor to execute such paperwork after review and approval by the village attorney concerning the contingent nature of the paperwork. Would that work?
Sorry, I just got this.
I know.
I hadn't
Yep.
received it, and there's a lot in here. Does it have to happen today? Because I really would much rather, I don't know if this is what went out to bid or how we got this. I just don't know enough about it. I would not feel comfortable with the board making a motion.
These builds are always state contract bid or
I just don't have that.
source weld, so that I can pretty much assure you on. So the thing is, we got on the 14th apparently, and well, yeah, I thought you had sent it to you, so I'm not sure why you didn't get it. So that's why we got no feedback. So that said, they're concerned that the availability would be taken out from under, and so we would have to work with Bulldog here.
I think, if I may,
Yep.
if these guys make fire trucks, they understand municipal finance. They understand how this works, and they're not just going to pull this. They're going to want the money. I'm happy happy to reach out to them personally tomorrow and explain that, you know, the board talked about it, but I, as counsel, wanted the opportunity to review this and speak to the chief, see where this came from, that we are moving forward with it, but that it's not a motion until the next meeting. I mean, that by the next meeting, it'll be just over 30 days from when this was received.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's
It was
right.
received on-
15, 22. Yeah, we'll be at the 22nd at that point. Yeah.
Right, so you're 6 days past.
Yeah. When did we approve the referendum? Was it the last meeting?
And that's a 50-day period. There's the 30 and 50 doesn't work.
Yeah. Good point.
I
see what you're saying.
don't want to push. This is a huge purchase, and
I think the idea was they wanted to lock in the 30 that way, so that's what the intention was with that. That you said that. All right. So okay, going secondhand here, and so we'll get you on the horn with Bulldog and with Chief Crow then. But you'll see what's coming down the pike right now is the 785,996. The reason why we sought authority, also we've got bond counsel and bonding costs to go with it, so that they also get wrapped into this. So that's why we were seeking something in excess of the 785,996 for permissive referendum authorization. So there you go. Okay. Now, more officially, other business, including but not limited to board response and public comment. Paul?
Nothing tonight for me.
Uh-oh.
She's done.
Mary?
I'm good.
Just super happy to see the community rally around your family, Chris and Charlene. And when my mom and I visited Charlene, she was talking about village stuff. She does have her heart wanting to serve even when she's still trying to heal. And but just really proud of her and proud of your family and proud of this community to step up. So that's all I got.
And in the same note, I want to say about this entire board that the amount of work, I neglected to say, Paul stepped up last week. We've got 3 ethics board interviews down and 1 or 2 more to go here. And so probably the next meeting is when we will get the reconstitution finally of our ethics board. Every time we try to do it, we had a budget issue. We had Charlene go down as our plan B. So Paul's a great plan C to have, I'll tell you, when it comes down to it. But no, he's great. All of you have very busy lives, and you all have been stepping up big time. And we've got some really meaty stuff that we've been reviewing here, be it zoning code or other things that have come through here, and the thoughtfulness of the responses and everything else is very, very, very great to see. So thank you for being a great board to work with here, and hopefully we continue that because we got a lot more to do here over this next year and a half, essentially. So let's keep our momentum up here. Having said that, can I get a motion that the vouchers be audited and the meeting be adjourned at 8:07 p.m.? Go Knicks.
So moved.
Trustee Dunkelbarger, Trustee Fontaine, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I love my San Antonio friends, but go Knicks.